You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Andrew Webster standing by to chat to us, but how much are you enjoying this? I was watching a bit of social media last night, and as I've said often on the show, Warriors fans, you've been through some hard times in recent years. No playoffs for this team going back to, 2018 was the last time this team made the playoffs. Now, top 8 almost seems like a fait accompli. It's how high they can finish. Can they finish in the top 4? And look, I know South's last week was a setback, but talk about bouncing back. Incredible from the Warriors last night.
2 tackles is what the Warriors have to work with. Johnson at the line. Walker straight down the middle. Takes on Russell and scores! It's a Warriors blitz. Barnett down the middle. Comes to the fullback. Great tackle by Russell. Egan. Barnett boring his way to the line. He's over. Barnett has scored. And the Warriors going on with the job. Terrific start to the second half.
Yeah, terrific all over, really. Great pleasure to welcome in Warriors coach Andrew Webster from Sydney Airport, just about to hop on a plane to fly home. Andrew, thanks for taking the time. A lot to like, I'd imagine, from your team last night. Was there anything in particular that pleased you the most?
Yeah, I think defensively I thought we were really good at times. I thought our kick chase was probably the most impressive thing. I also felt like about 20 minutes into the game, it was about 6-4. We were kind of working it out, and we just clicked, and we found our game very fast. We knew what we wanted to do, and I thought the boys executed it really well.
How keen were you to see a reaction after the loss to Souths in the wet last weekend?
Mate, it wasn't about reaction because we tried hard last week. We just weren't smart. So all I wanted us to be, was execute our game plan and stay at our game plan for longer. So it wasn't about getting a reaction because you normally want a reaction when someone hasn't tried or they didn't put in So it wasn't about that for us. It was just about being smarter, and I was happy after 20 minutes that we worked it out and we got our game off.
How pleasing also was it to be able to defend your line for long periods and then counter-attack so effectively?
Yeah, mate, that's it's got to keep being our identity. Like absorbing pressure and then applying it fast is so important in the NRL, and we're doing it really well. Like we can defend our line for long periods of time, but then just to go down the other end and score so fast, I thought just lets the air out of the opposition's tyres, and once they lose their confidence, that has a big impact. So we've got to keep doing that.
I was speaking to one of your assistants, Richard Agar, on the show yesterday about the way that you're able, you personally, to stay level. You don't ride the ends of the emotional spectrum too much. What's at the heart of your ability to do that?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I don't know if I'm that good at it. The big thing for me is like you're always worried about the next challenge. You're always thinking about what's our next focus, and it's just a week in rugby league's a long time. So everyone could blow smoke and say how good we're going, we've got a long way to go. So I think that's what keeps me grounded. The boys keep me grounded, how hard they train and what they want to do the next day. We haven't achieved anything yet, mate. So that's probably what drives me the most is there's a long way to go, and I think we can get better, but at the same time, I'm really proud of them. Just proud of the way they're going about it. Yeah,
I was going to ask, you must be able to, though, gain some personal satisfaction from the way the team is playing, can you?
Oh, yeah. I just ask myself, am I happy with the contribution I'm making? And I am. So I'm happy with that. So, there's definitely self-satisfaction, but when you're in a team sport and you've got players, the ones that are physically going out and doing it, you just can't get ahead of yourself because they're the ones that are going to battle every week. And I feel proud of the way they prepare and what they go out and produce, and just our whole staff. Honestly, such a team effort. How good they are. And, I definitely self-satisfaction. I'm proud of what the team's doing for whole of New Zealand, how much they love the football, and just hear everyone talking about rugby league in the city as well. That makes me really proud.
Yeah, not just the city, right across the country. A couple of players I want to ask you about. Tohu Harris, near the end, he's off the field, getting patched up. The game's well and truly won, but he went back on. What does that say about him as a leader of this side?
Oh, mate, he was a pest for the last 20 minutes. He kept radioing up saying, can I go back on? And I was like, Tori, the day's over, mate. Relax. And he deserved a break. And then we needed him to go back on because of injuries. And, yeah, he was the first one to charge out there, mate. But he's a great leader. He leads by his actions, Tori. He's if he's not in the fight, he's not enjoying himself. So he's just one of those competitors.
And Sean Johnson travelled over with the side, even though wife Kayla's heavily pregnant. Was that a decision you just left to Sean to make?
Definitely, mate. Definitely. I don't understand how you could even consider putting pressure on a player to potentially miss the birth of a child. So I just had a little boy myself, and there's no way I'd be missing it. So I understand it, and yeah, it was their decision. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't complaining when he said he was going to come and play. So it showed me just how much he cares about winning. And but yeah, at the same time, I would have understood if he didn't come.
Yeah, and obviously he celebrated a milestone last night with his 200th game for the club. Other milestones as well. I think there were 4 players who were bringing up milestones. Are those the sorts of things that you do celebrate internally?
Definitely. Always celebrate those milestones. Best way to celebrate them is with a win. Nothing worse than celebrating it all week and talking about it when you're on the losing end of the result. And yeah, it's not a good feeling. So... but yeah, we don't want to go overboard with it as well because there's always a job to do. So, just really, really proud of the fact that boys that we could celebrate it and honour those 4 boys, but at the same time get the job done.
Now, and I know this isn't really your main concern, but do you look at a guy like Mitch Barnett? I just look at the way that he's playing at the moment, and do you look at him and say that's a state of origin player there?
Oh, I think Mitch could play origin, like definitely. It's not my concern, but at the end of the day, I want my players to realise I think they're that good that they could do that. So, yeah, I think we've got 3 or 4, even more that are, obviously we've got a lot of Kiwi internationals, but we've got a lot of Australians that I reckon could definitely play representative football.
Through the TV last night, obviously you were at the ground, but through the TV there was a Warriors chant. We could hear the fans. I don't know how many fans there were there, and there was a Warriors chant audibly coming through the television. That must be amazing on the ground there,
mate. It was amazing. I thought their fans were yelling out a chant and blowing up about something, and I said, "They're yelling out Warriors." And then the assistant coach says, "Yeah." That blew me away because, mate, Parramatta's a hard place to go and win, and their fans are probably some of the most passionate in the competition, and to have a Warriors chant at their stadium is just unheard of. So, yeah, just goes to show how well we're supported, but just what the boys are creating, which is great.
Yep. And just to finish, Sharks next Sunday back home. I guess you'll be hoping for another big crowd. You'll get that, but a fine day rather than a bloody monsoon or something.
Oh, mate, love a dry day for our fans. 23,000 sat there last week in the pouring rain and didn't leave. I was that proud of them. So, yeah, it'd be nice if we got some good weather, but we know they'll turn up regardless. So we just got to do them proud and get the result.
Safe travels, mate. Congratulations on a terrific performance to you and the team, and really appreciate you taking our phone call.
No, pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew Webster, head coach of the Warriors.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.